I wanted to like dig a bit more into your business model. I wanted to ask about the clips specifically. What's going on with this whole verification process? First of all, is this ever going to get automated?
Same
Who's
question.
verifying these? Is it you? Do you have a team of people? What's the
Yes.
criteria for accepting a clip?
Yes. Oh, I tell you, there's been so much thought process that goes in, and bless their heart, so many people will back and forth for $1. It's amazing of what they'll put up, and some people try to kind of scam us, and it's
Yeah.
it's kind of comical, but in all honesty, people, they've got a good idea. So kind of the process is, if you are enjoying an experience, let's say you're at a restaurant, you can take up to 30-second vertical videos of that location, as long as it shows you something different and the vibe, the atmosphere, the food. So we say, if you were basically trying to give 3 helpful videos to NaviSavi of what this experience is like, what would those be? We always say, like, if you have some food, like, you don't just want 3 seconds of food. Go across the table, show us some of those dishes, then pop up, show us the atmosphere. What's it like there? Is it music? Are people dressed up? Are they casual? What's the vibe? Is it loud music pumping, or is it a little more romantic and quiet place? So we're here to basically give you that full piece to fully understand that location. So then maybe there's a bar area that's a little separated and a little more lively. And then maybe there's an outdoor area to this bar as well. So we capture those 3 different kind of locations. Each video can be up to 30 seconds. And actually our watch time on NaviSavi, I think on TikTok and Instagram, a lot of their watch time's down to like 3 seconds before you decide to watch a video and move on. It used to be 8 seconds. And our average watch time on NaviSavi is actually 12 seconds, which is quite long, compared to, so that tells you people are there when they're actually looking and engaging in the content versus just what's next, not relevant to me. So that's kind of our purpose, is we're there to, once you've come to that next stage of like, where do I want to go? What's it look like? So when a user, they can go in and then they go to the upload process, they can just access their camera roll, or you can shoot in the app, but we suggest using your camera roll, because then you can access all those videos later. You go in and you tap the 3 videos that you want to upload, maximum 3, maximum 30 seconds. If they're 31 seconds, you can edit it down to fit in the 30 seconds, but we don't want them edited together, if that makes sense. So they're all individual videos, so they could basically be broken apart and acted separately. And so now you upload the videos, as it's processing, you check in on Google Places of where that location is. So technically you have to be able to be a point of interest, a business, something specific. And what we say our rule is, how do I go do exactly as you did? We have people that just check in on a clip and it says Barcelona. I was like, that tells me I want to sit in the same chair at that restaurant. Where's the restaurant? Where are you getting that viewpoint for that great video? Is that at the top of the castle? Give us more. So we really want to get kind of in depth with that content, but you don't have to be on camera. You don't have to talk. You can narrate if you want. We want to hear vibe, and we want to see almost as if you're FaceTiming with a friend, like, you'll never guess my hotel. Look at this place. Yes, shameless plug, NaviSavi.
Love it.
I do this a lot with my phone. But yeah, so it's really giving that experience. And we give you a little segment in which you can tell us why you recommend this experience or some like helpful facts. So when you do that, we don't just want you to say, yo, food. Like, come on, that's not going to help anybody. If you're telling your friends like, hey, make sure you get there early, the doorman's name is such and such, or, ask for so-and-so, must do is the sangria. Tuesday nights are usually karaoke nights, or, just kind of having those little helpful hints. So then you can pass that on to the next traveler. So they're not redoing all the same research that you've done. So then when you upload that, automatically we pull from Google the website address. So we'll know where the website is. Then we go through and it automatically populates the price point as well on the dollar signs. And then sometimes it will give us other location relevant information. We also timestamp that. So we know if you're stealing videos from other people and if it didn't come from your camera roll. So we've had people try to get very tricky, and it has to be shot on your phone and your camera, because that's what we consider being content that you own. So you have to own the content yourself and upload it. So then once it goes to that process, you can tag it with eat, sleep, play, explore, party, adventure. We even have LGBTQ. We have eco-friendly, a bunch of tags, and we're continually expanding those tags as well as we get more content. And then you also can put in if it has good Wi-Fi. Since so many of us are digital nomads, we want to know if it's Wi-Fi instead of getting there, sitting down, and it sucks. So that's another little helpful hint we put in. And then you press send, and usually it takes about 24 hours for our team to go through and then approve the video. We've been a little behind lately because we've had so many videos. We're getting like 300 to 500 videos a day sometimes now, especially after the holidays. It's usually an influx or in summer. So, and then we go in and we verify that the location that you put in the clip is exactly that matches up on Google. We type it into Google Places, and then we see everything from what did the chandeliers look like? Is that the same location, or are you at the wrong location and you didn't tell us? So we go in and we match frame by frame, and we have some AI that does this as well for us automatically, that can reject and can auto like tell us a few things. That's something we'll definitely be expanding into. And I think at this point, you know, right now we're doing an approval process. We just have a team of a couple people every morning go in and approve a couple hundred videos and on to the next. So we then go through and we'll start incorporating with our AI and our partnerships, a lot of that content to go directly for, I won't say affiliate links, but that would be the commission links that we'll be putting in directly from our platform. So that's kind of how we work on the content. Once it's uploaded, you can build it into itineraries. You can use other people's content to build itineraries. You can upload as many videos as you want of, we had a gal in Paris. She lives in Paris. She made $900 in about 2.5, 3 weeks walking all over Paris. She's like, A, NaviSavi is good for fitness, and B, I just made almost $1,000 in my own town. So, wow. You know, she was just documenting her life, and it's been a great playlist for us. You know, Paris by a Parisian, who wouldn't want that playlist? So, you know, those are kind of great things. And she's an influencer as well. So we allow our platform to also feed back to their channels. And we pay you $1 for each video approved. And that process works for, you can upload as many videos you want, as long as it's not, you show me the beach this direction, then you show me the beach this direction. Or you go down and say, I'm at such and such beach. And then you say, I'm at the cafe at the beach. You know, it's like, come on, like you've got to, we want you to actually be doing and enjoying the experience. That's kind of the premise of it. Not, we've had people like cruise by in cars at places that were closed and get, you know, it's like, come on. I appreciate the effort. You know,
I'm sure you get a lot of those for sure.
We get a good chuckle out of some of the people and the pushback, but you know, at least they're trying. So yeah, we're keeping with right now the $1 per video, and we'll probably be looking and exploring. There's some new revenue streams with that for our content creators, as well as really just trying to find the lifetime value of that content. But yeah, so that's kind of what the idea behind it is. We just show the experience unedited.
So how many people do you have working for you, just working on verifying clips? Because that must be a very labor-intensive process.
Well, we've gravitated from highs and lows, and I think it's not so much about the quantity of people, it's the quality of people. Because we had some people that they weren't even watching the video, and so we've like, I got a McDonald's in here. Like, what's the purpose? Like, it has to be something special about that McDonald's, guys. There's kind of a rhythm and a training to it. So we fluctuate. Sometimes in the summer, we had a big contest who could post the most, won 2 free round trip tickets to anywhere. So that was a great competition in which we acquired, I think, 20,000 videos over 3 months. Amazing. So we needed a full team. I think we had like 5 or 8 people on daily approving videos because they're just coming in droves. But it simmered down a little bit, especially in the fall. And after the holidays, it peaks again. So we kind of fluctuate anywhere 2 people on average. And sometimes when it's a little bit slower, I just have one guy person doing it. Yeah. And then eventually we'd like to make it almost like Reddit, in which it becomes community driven. Users can flag content. We actually get bonuses if you flag a content and see something wrong. And also it would be, this is coming, it's not in existence yet, but basically if we're going to be putting in almost like Reddit, like, was this content helpful? And that's going to start driving those pieces, because we don't need 1,400 videos of the Eiffel Tower. So we're going to start showing the video content that was watched the most, saved the most, shared the most, And that's going to be starting to gravitate towards the top.
I was wondering if you can talk a bit about this whole $1 per video thing, because whenever I tell people about this, they're like, what? Like,
What's the catch is what I always
catch. How can they afford to pay out $1? So can you speak about how you can afford this? I know you previously talked about getting a commission off of the links that people can click on those videos of those places.
Yeah. So we've kind of, some models are a little bit different. They want the creator to create basically an edited version of the experience, and then you make money off that experience that gets booked. But we don't really believe in that model, because for us, it's like, you may never get a booking. We want our users to see immediate payoff. And we feel like, you know what, this content has value to us, and we feel like it has value to other people down the line. So that's kind of where we started off with this. And I think the $1 was kind of a fun story, but it was a lot of asking around. People are like, yeah, was it $2? Was it $4? Was it quarter? One of them started off as quarter. Like, we've kind of played around with different price points. And right now it's just been $1 per piece of content. That is how it operates for right now. And like I said, that might change into travel bucks, or, we've got a few tricks up our sleeve in which we're investigating of how to best maintain this model for long term. But you'd be surprised what people will do for $1. Like, people are like, really, $1? Like, yeah, $3 just in one location. Especially, we had a couple going through Thailand. They basically paid for their entire vacation based on just uploading to NaviSavi. They're like, just bought my meal and a beer in Thailand,
Yeah.
So,
well, and the beauty with traveling to cheap countries is if your meal costs $2 and you're making $3 off of NaviSavi, pretty much pays for your meal, right?
and we see the difference in this as I've talked about, everybody's a content creator. And number two, it's very hard. I've been with a lot of influencers. I work with them, friends with a lot of them. They do a lot of content and publishing and this and that to only get one brand deal for maybe the year. And that process, it takes years to build up a following and to get this, and then to get an opportunity, and then get a fam trip paid for. And it's like, it's a labor of love to get that. And for us, we're like, you know what, your content's valuable. You went somewhere. It doesn't have to be only because you have 40,000 followers or 100,000. You know what? You have an influence on your own community, your own family. They're watching you travel as well. So, we're kind of a supporter of the everyday traveler, the everyday local. We have locals that are, like I said, loving their own cities and uploading content. You don't even have to go somewhere. You can document your favorite places in your own town. So that's kind of what we're trying to aim at. Is right. I know how much people spend on influencers sometimes, some of the really big ones, and it's like, what's your ROI on that? You might be seeing more follows and more likes on your content, but has that proved how many bookings you got exactly from that? So, it's, you're building brand awareness, but it's really hard sometimes to show that conversion.
Some of the videos that I've been posting get approved and some don't. And sometimes I'm not sure why. I want to improve the video quality or to make it fit for what you guys are looking for.
People just want to see a good representation of the experience. And I think having that good eye, I find myself many times just doing the same movements. And it's like, being creative, it's part about the unveiling of what's next. And I think that's probably a really good thing, is having that kind of content. You focus on this, and then maybe you don't move, left to right. And maybe this is a tilt up and you reveal like this beautiful sunset and beach from this restaurant. Like, I actually posted something similar the other day on Instagram, but thinking creatively ways in which, maybe you're not moving the camera, but you're walking and moving it, just little things like that to show the experience a little bit different. And a lot of times in the videos, if 3 videos all look very similar, we'll only prove one of them. So as long as the videos show very different aspects of the business, that's usually a good no fail. We have a whole frequently asked questions and like how guidebook on the website. And that's usually a pretty good test. We rarely approve if you're like riding in a car. There's some exceptions to that. And there's always going to be an exceptions to rules, and people argue, but someone else did it. And it's like, there's no other way you could do the experience and see this mountain. There's no way to get over and pull over. You know what I mean? So like sometimes we will be a little lenient on people. And we do have the videos at navi-savi.com. Our poor video guy gets we get a lot of messages of why the video didn't get approved. But you know what? We're happy to work with people too. Like we want you to succeed. We're not here to just say, bleh, bleh. We want as much content as possible. So if you ever feel like yourself or any others, we've looked at even hosting a few sessions of what kind of content are we looking for, how to shoot the best content, all that kind of stuff. And like good patterns of how to document each step of your journey, what interests people, how to create that into a playlist. So yeah, a lot of our influencers create like a reel that says 10 things to do in Paris. Bam, 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 bam. Well, guess what? Now I've got a link here, and then I'm going to have to follow that link if you tagged it below. And then I'm going to have to save it and write that down and then go to the Instagram and then do the booking somewhere else. And then that piece of content, put it all in the NaviSavi playlist, put the link so you can open it on our web. And now instantly you're watching each video exactly. You can stop it. You can get that information and you're not losing it and have to watch the video a million times. But on Instagram, they want you to watch the video a million times. They want views. You know, they're serving a different purpose than what we are.
It's an ad-based model. You're more of like a
functionality. Yeah, we're not the prettiest version, but you know what? Gosh darn it, we get it done.
No, I like it. So you can monetize for now based off of a commission when somebody books. By that token, is there a difference based on the location that people film? Because like, let's say if I go to a free park in the city, those are clips that have been approved in the past, but how do you monetize things like that?
We take it as well, as long as it's a must-see. And you look at something like Central Park. Yeah, you've got to go to Central Park. That's a park. It's free. But then there's always subunits within park. So there's the ice skating rink in Central Park. There's Shakespeare. There's all these kind of different micro areas within that too. And yeah, we feel that if you feel like if you only had 3 days in a city and it was a must do, put it up. But we have some people that just walk by every dumb statue, sorry to say, but it's like, really, you would take all your time to walk all the way to this church that isn't even open. You know, it's like, sometimes we send out lists. So we were doing a thing when we started called Scavenger Hunts. So we basically put out a map of all the places that we want. And whoever got to them first, they all got double points for it. So they were making $6 off a location because we want content. We want it fast. So we'll probably be bringing back some scavenger hunts as well. And we cross-reference and aggregate the top things to do based on, you know, everything from blog posts to popular opinion to locals and everything. So we have these huge grids of city lists.
Yeah. And I guess like the value of an Eiffel Tower shot for you is much, much lower than the value of a unique Airbnb or restaurant.
Exactly. So we're accepting everything for the most part now, but like I said, it might change. We might not be this way forever, but let me tell you, for what I've spent on content, and you think about content acquisition, if we have 50,000 clips and paying $1 per clip, you've got to put some manpower behind that in payments. But for me to send a film crew or influencer to these locations, that's flights, that's hotels, that's paying for the experiences, you'll never make your content money back. So we feel crowdsourcing and putting it up there gives everybody an opportunity. And there's other platforms in which you can upload content for them to license, but you don't get paid for it until you sell. You're playing the lottery. You upload 500 clips and spend all that time to hopefully get one bite. So we're kind of like, oh, we'll nibble at everything. It's kind of like they say, Wolf of Wall Street, we're betting the pink slips right now instead of the big stuff.
Yeah. I love it. Is there ever any chance of the reward system getting pulled from the platform? Would that ever happen potentially?
I mean, I can never say never because I have investors and sometimes you can be the CEO of your company and still lose a battle. But we like that aspect. We want to keep it within our ecosystem. I foresee us always having some sort of rewards or redemptions.
So basically, users should take advantage of it as much as possible.
As many people should get on NaviSavi as possible.
Still there.
and you know it. And if you want to be a refer, we can get that too. Right now, we've just been doing small as well, dollar per refer. I can give everybody basically your code is your username on NaviSavi. Just let me know if you want to become a refer, and I can check your box for you to become a refer. They have to sign up manually, not through Google or Facebook login though. That's how we're tracking it for right now. So make sure they sign up with an email and put your code in. That's something else that will change in the coming months. But if anyone wants to come on as brand ambassadors and whatnot, you know, we have some people we've been in touch with that are in a location for a month, and I've met them and they're great content creators. Well, hey, here's an extra $500 to shoot more content while you're there every day on top of things. Just knowing it's consistent and keep people motivated. We would like to work with people. So
Awesome.
I always say, you know, it's like, it's teamwork out here. It's like, I want everybody to succeed, even my competitors, because that means I'm down the right direction of what my idea was.
Agreed. Any plans of going on the Samsung store? Because I've been referring you to a lot of people and they're looking for the app and they say, oh, I can't find it.
Yeah, the technical build that we're in right now is basically we're on the App Store and Google Play. So I know that we've had some people on Samsung that basically they're able to use another application in order to download us. I've heard. I started a tech company and I'm not a technical person. I'm an idea gal and a cheerleader. I think there are some ways you can get around it, but you know, that's obviously things that we'd be looking to expand is, you know, a lot of different areas and countries are on completely different systems. Phones in China and a lot of these places, we're not even, you know, having those accesses. So that's really, you know, we're going to kind of knock out the market that we have. And if we learn any tricks of the trade or anyone's got any to share in the comments, like let us know. We'll be happy to get more users on. So
Sounds good.
I'll ask my tech guy.
So if people want to follow what you're doing and all of the updates with NaviSavi, if they want to get in contact with you, where should they go? What should they do?
Yep, we're pretty big on Instagram. That's just all at NaviSavi Travel. And NaviSavi, for what people always ask, what's it mean? It means navigationally savviness. A lot of people do not know that when they call us Savvy Navi, but it's NaviSavi. So, and you know, and they call me Rally Sally. So I just like things that rhyme, I guess. So, but yeah, you can always follow a lot of our adventures on Instagram. We're also on TikTok. We're starting to build out that community. Obviously, we're still on Facebook. Still got my old school following from Facebook. And we're still kind of on LinkedIn, a lot of the platforms. You can always get a hold of me personally through Instagram. My profile's open. You can follow a lot of my crazy journeys that don't always make it onto NaviSavi for professional probably reasons, but you know, they're just as fun. And then also we have a contact at Navi-Savvy, or you can drop me LinkedIn. I feel like I've got 400 accounts all over the place, but you can find me. Just if I don't respond right away, feel free to harass me, and I promise then I will respond. It's sometimes it gets lost in a pile and it's like, oh shit, did I not respond? So,
no one can put you at fault for that.
yeah, multiple accounts and companies. So keeps me busy.
Great. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention before ending the interview?
Yeah, I'd say just download it and give it a try. It's fun. Even if you don't upload content, create a playlist for yourself of places in your own city, discover your own town, share it with friends, take it out NaviSavi with you for one weekend and make $30 on us, and you know, start collecting your own content. So yeah.